Hi, welcome to the Children's Treatment Network. In this video, we describe our new service delivery pathway for occupational therapy, OT, and physiotherapy, PT, services. This video will introduce you to our service delivery pathway, walk you through how it works, and outline our intervention approaches. This pathway applies to OT and PT services provided to clients who meet CTN's criteria for hosted OT and PT. CTN's vision for occupational therapy and physiotherapy programming is to ensure children, youth, and families receive the right service at the right time, in the right amount, and in the right place, all while ensuring that service is consistent and transparent. CTN believes in family-centered care, built around the F words of childhood disability. The F words of childhood disability are words that reflect some of the most important aspects of childhood development: function, family, fitness, friends, fun, and future. They were first published in 2012 by CanChild's Dr. Rosenbaum and Dr. Gortier and are now used internationally when working with children with disabilities and their families. CTN supports families and clients while focusing on the 6 F's throughout programming. Because family-centered practice recognizes that in most cases the family is the one constant factor in the life of a child, and that the family is at the center of the child's life, CTN emphasizes and promotes strengthening the parents' and family's ability to promote the child's development by embedding coaching principles into all of our intervention approaches. This is our new service delivery pathway for clients and families receiving CTN-hosted PT and/or OT. The OT-PT service pathway will help families understand their journey through the CTN services. It will also ensure those services are consistent across CTN and in line with our intervention vision, principles, and beliefs, all of which can be found on the CTN website at www.ctnsy.ca. Let's walk through the pathway. Children and families typically enter the pathway on the left-hand side, which represents our early intervention programs, and then move to the right as a child moves into and out of school. Across the top of the pathway, you can see 4 different colored headings: Getting Started, Early Learners, Being Active, and On My Way. These titles and the activities associated with them help us identify areas of focus for intervention through a child's development. The sub-areas or activities are not written in stone, nor are the age limits definite. They act as more of a guide to remind us of areas of childhood development and possible intervention focus during any specific time. For example, when a child is very young and in the getting started stage, families and therapists may focus on things such as motor, communication, and play skill development, as well as preparation for school tasks. As they grow and become early learners, there may be more focus on motor, communication, and play, but also on social and emotional skill development. At this time, families may also need to start looking at specialized equipment. When a child is moving into the being active stage, their team may work on things such as recreation and leisure and participation in competitive activities, expression of their likes and dislikes, as well as friendship development. And then, as our children become youth and enter the On My Way stage, the team and family will look at things such as social skills and friendship development, vocational and volunteering skill development, and more recreation and leisure participation. Full details on the 4 areas of focus can be found on the CTN website. The next line in our pathway is our new Growth and Development Program, or our G&D program. Once families have been referred to OT and/or PT, they will enter the system through the new Growth and Development Program. This will be a clinic visit at one of our CTN sites, where they will meet their therapy team. The team will lead them through a conversation to learn about their child, their family, and the 6 F's of childhood disability as it relates to them. A physical assessment may or may not be completed based on need. The team will work with the family to develop goals and decide if any intervention is required at that time, and if so, what that intervention should look like. They will also determine when the next growth and development visit should be. The Growth and Development Program is the entry point and the checkup point for OT and PT service. You will have regular growth and development checkups as your child develops. Families can think of it like a checkup with their physician. The frequency of growth and development appointments may change based on how the client and family are doing. At any time there is a change in function or need, a growth and development appointment may be scheduled by the family by contacting their therapist. The G&D program provides an opportunity for families and therapists to meet on a regular basis to identify and address any current or emerging concerns, and ensures the appropriate intervention is identified and made available when required. Children and families will be involved in the growth and development program until they leave CTN. During the growth and development appointment, if intervention is indicated to meet the child's goals, the therapist will help families determine what that should look like. They may participate in one or more than one intervention approaches. If a family expresses that things are going well and they don't have any immediate needs, the team may only set them up with the next growth and development visit. Intervention approaches can be seen in the colored boxes under the growth and development program. We will walk through what these are and what they may look like. Activity-based intervention. CTN's activity-based intervention approach maximizes outcomes by providing families with a series of intervention sessions focused on family coaching. This type of coaching focuses on how daily activities can be intervention opportunities. It supports parents to maximize their child's potential and builds confidence in their own skills. CTN uses activity-based intervention because research shows that the most impact or change occurs when we embed intervention strategies into everyday routines. Because CTN understands that families know their children best, all families are unique, and that optimizing a child's abilities occurs within a supportive family and community. And because it allows clients and families to focus on family, fun, function, and friends. The length and frequency of activity-based intervention sessions will vary depending on goals and family needs. Typically, there are a few weeks to a few months between sessions to allow the families to practice and incorporate techniques into their daily activities. The number of sessions needed will be determined by the family's learning needs and the rate and change of the growth of the child. School connections. School is a major part of any child's life, and teachers and staff are part of the child's team. The School Connection program ensures CTN clients receive the therapy support they need in the school environment. Depending on your school board, these services look a little bit different. Please contact your CTN therapist or your school to determine how these services are provided in your school board. The School Connections program utilizes coaching techniques with school staff when intervention principles and recommendations can be incorporated into the daily school routine. It allows children to maximize their function in their natural environment. It will be used throughout a child's time in school as their needs indicate. It may be used for a variety of reasons, including but not limited to transfer and lift training, equipment needs, self-care routines, and adapting programming to increase accessibility. The length and frequency of these sessions will also vary depending on goals and family or school needs. Typically, there will be a set number of appointments to address a specific issue. However, the School Connections program can be reinitiated whenever there is a new need within the school. Home program. A home program involves intervention activities or routines to be completed at home. A home program may involve embedding intervention principles into everyday routines. It may also involve targeted exercises. This often occurs when a client needs to practice a specific skill or strengthen specific muscles to help reach a goal. It is also common following interventions such as surgery or Botox. A home program may be its own intervention, or it may be a component of activity-based intervention, episodic intervention, spasticity management, or group programs. A home program combines the importance of family, function, and fitness. Group intervention. Groups are a productive way to balance intervention needs with social interests and interaction. Benefit of groups include peer interaction, modeling, encouragement, friendship development, family participation, and coordinated support between team members. Group intervention allows clients to incorporate fun, friends, family, and fitness. It may also introduce clients and families to new environments, activities, and peer support relationships that may continue outside of the therapeutic setting. It may be co-facilitated by other service providers such as early interventionists, resource consultants, social workers, or recreational therapists. Your therapist will be able to determine which groups may be appropriate for you and your child. Home and community sessions. CTN is committed to supporting clients in their home and community. Home and community sessions may be necessary when a client and/or family needs support outside of the clinic or school. Home services are provided when the clinical need is home-based. Home and community sessions allows a therapist to assess how a child functions at home or in the community. It allows an opportunity for intervention or recommendations in the child's natural environment. It also maximizes participation in functional activities combining family life or fun opportunities. And it may include various aspects of daily life, such as a home assessment for accessibility needs or providing strategies to participate in a community activity or sport. Home and community sessions will typically involve 1 to 4 sessions over a varied amount of time to address a very specific need. Workshops. Workshops or education sessions may be offered to families in order to provide new information about specific topics of need. Workshops may be done in person, over a webinar, or using online videos. They will be offered at various times whenever possible. They will cover different areas of need at different points in time and will incorporate the principles of the F words of childhood disability. Episodic intervention. Episodic intervention is defined as a period of focused intervention targeting a client's specific need with a beginning and an end. With episodic intervention, we use a burst of intervention to address specific goals. The intensity provided in episodic intervention is determined by research and best practice evidence. Following the burst is a period of applied learning to allow the client and family to practice the new skill in a natural environment. Episodic intervention will be provided as needed after surgery, after initial Botox injections, or after an acute injury. Episodes outside of these indications will be considered based on availability and client readiness and need. Episodic intervention will begin with a goal identification, which may happen during a growth and development session, to determine the appropriate goals. Therapists will work with the family and the child or youth to develop goals that focus around the F words of childhood disability. Goals are reassessed following episodic intervention to evaluate progress. Episodic intervention may be group, individual, or a combination of sessions. It may be with a therapist or a rehabilitation assistant, and are typically done at our CTN sites. The length and frequency of episodic intervention will vary, but may be between 4 to 8 weeks and between 1 to 3 times per week, depending on the need. Transition program. CTN does not have a formal transition program at this time, however, does work with youth and their families on an individual basis to support the transition to adult services. We will work with families to develop this essential program as the new OT-PT service is implemented. Currently, any client in their adolescent years should speak with the therapy team about transition needs. The transition program will address the coordinated process of moving a client from CTN and the pediatric services to the adult system of care as it relates to health and rehabilitation. After clients participate in an intervention approach, they will follow up with their therapist at the next growth and development visit, and a new plan will be created. Looking back at the service pathway, there are 2 gray lines below the intervention approaches. These boxes represent programs and community partners that may be involved throughout a child's development. They have an influence on their OT or PT, but are a separate program or organization. CTN hopes that by using our new pathway, there will be an increase in number of approaches to intervention available, more inclusive service eligibility, intervention determined by functional needs, coaching principles embedded into all intervention, established groups and appropriate referrals or partnerships with community recreation, and access to service throughout the child and youth years. More details can be found on the CTN website, www.ctnsy.ca, under the Programs and Services tab, Occupational Therapy, Physiotherapy Services. There is also a downloadable intervention guide there for your reference. If you have any questions or comments about CTN's occupational therapy or physiotherapy pathway, please contact Kim Hesketh, Manager of Rehabilitation Services, CTN, at khesketh@ctnkkids.ca. sy.ca.